today, what we really are is the protection of critical infrastructure using digital twins. So after kind of going through all of that, understanding how the grid operates and some of the gaps that we face, the vulnerabilities, and just the evolving and rising threats to the grid, we felt that we were in the best position to help protect that critical infrastructure, substations, water, wastewater, all of that continues to provide our way of life.
Dwayne, welcome to Q Branch. Welcome to the Texas Embassy podcast. Tell me about yourself.
Thank you for having me. This is great. I appreciate being here. So a little bit about myself. First off, I'm a veteran. So I appreciate you as well as being a veteran and this environment, kind of really helping and pushing for veteran-owned companies. I moved to Minneapolis maybe 20 years ago with family, and we're just looking for kind of a better start, more opportunities coming from Philadelphia. And Minnesota was just a good place for my family where we ended up. And it was great. So that's kind of where I got my start, and my understanding started learning about like what's all out there, what I can do, what businesses I can like get into. And that's where it kind of piqued my interest as far as me doing something kind of impactful in life. I'm an active person. I like to continue to stay youthful in my mind, not so much what my body says, but I'm into
it does get a vote?
Sometimes it gets a vote after some long, grueling workouts.
That's
So
it.
I'm into jiu-jitsu, ultra marathons.
Wow.
But due to kids and having an 8-month-old baby, I haven't ran any ultras this summer.
Oh my goodness. Have you done an Ironman or anything like that?
I haven't, not yet. So
Okay.
I got into ultras maybe 3 years ago.
Were you always active? Like, did you play sports in
Always,
school?
boxed all my life. So originally that is what I was going into the Army to do. So
To be a boxer?
So my recruiter told me that I had just missed the Olympic trials in 2002.
Wow.
I had an orbital blowout fracture from fighting in PALs. After kind of going through all of that with the missing of the trials, went to my recruiter. He's like, hey, we have a great boxing program in the military, in the Army, which I already knew that. I knew the Navy had that. My grandfather actually boxed in the Army. He was in Korea.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So
That's good. You already had like an understanding of the military.
Yep, cousins, uncles, pretty much a military family. So went in there, didn't really get to box since 2002, but got a lot of other experience, had a few fights in there. But boxed all of my life. So tried to continue that kind of athleticism through.
So you're a fighter.
Fighter. That's kind of why I'm here. We've fought to be here, and I want to continue that fight for, again, making impact in everything I do.
I love that. Okay, so you're in Minnesota. I'm trying to see the connection. You land. How did you then become a CEO? Fill in that gap for me.
Yeah. Wasn't really quite sure what to do. I'm a jack of all trades, as they say so, and I believe experience, going out there, doing different things, that's how you kind of shape your trajectory of what happens next and how you kind of have the understanding and be able to lead people to do what's next. So did a bunch of different things from welding,
Oh, my goodness, dude. Like, I check it out. I was thinking, as I was getting out of the Army.
Yep.
My uncle and I started welding, and I enjoyed it. That I looked into the program of how to become a certified welder, because I was like, I'd love to be able to do that, right?
Yeah.
Get out in the truck, go out and weld. There's something about peacefulness of it. It's almost like an art form.
It is,
in a way.
Yeah, and it's not easy.
It's not. No, it's
not easy.
It's not.
So did that. And then eventually I was like, what else can I do that I can kind of reach some of the goals that I had in mind. And that's when I started getting into more business. So I did some management stuff after that. I ended up going back to school for psychology. And really wasn't there, but started to kind of learn more about humans and people, especially coming from the military. My last MOS being human. So
that does help. There's the science behind human interactions. That's right.
Exactly. So after that, I ended up starting a marketing company. Because where I'm in Minneapolis and where I saw there was a big need was a lot of minority businesses didn't have the marketing that they needed to get out there.
Right.
So I wanted to support that, and that was part of my, like I said, I wanted to make an impact. So I started a marketing company digital marketing company to support minority businesses and getting awareness and getting out there more versus kind of the word of mouth business. And that's kind of where I got introduced to like solar and all of that, being that later on a lot of my clients were contractors, solar developers, and that was kind of the start of
your entrepreneurial journey.
Yep.
Wow, that's in the support way, right?
Exactly.
So so now you're supporting this marketing agency.
Yep.
How did you make the leap to start this company?
Yes, that's still quite a journey. So I ended up, like I said, I had quite a bit of solar clients and really understanding their challenges, and then just always interested in solar. Another quick story about kind of back in the military, before cell phones, before all of like the portable digital stuff. Remember, we had DVD players. We would take out.
Buddy, I know that.
But they die if you're in the field. They die.
Oh, that's right. I was VHS, man. I'm sure you were VHS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So you can't charge those. So I bought a solar pack, hooked it on my ruck, and this is 2005, 2006.
Oh man, you were the gadget guy. Nobody really even thought about that.
Yeah,
wow.
Exactly. So that's when I realized the utility of solar. So I've always been interested in it, but that reignited it. Really, kind of working with some of them. And long story short, there were some things that they weren't doing that I believe would improve how they go about it. And I started my first solar company.
Wow.
Yep. Big learning curve. Many failures at the beginning due to I had a deep dive about all of it. So I kind of went back to the drawing board, figured out how I was going to do this, if I was going to do this. And the original goal was to really create community solar farms and offer that cheaper, cleaner energy to lower income residents, again, looking for impact. Going against developers, the same space to do a community solar isn't as easy as you would just think. So again, rethought, went to the residential, found success there in the residential, and just started to continue to learn kind of about solar, about energy, and we just started building. Got into more of the commercial side of it later on. Then eventually I wanted to start getting into storage. This is obviously pre a lot of the incentives for storage today. So the origins and the initial concept of ENSPI, which is two words put together, energy spikes, was to forecast energy spikes using AI in order to bake that into the business model for storage projects to show that they can drive revenue by selling that stored energy back to the grid on high demand times.
I love it. Thank you for that explanation. I was wondering where you got the name of that.
Yeah.
So in the spikes themselves, you're saying that they're somewhat predictive?
Exactly. Yep. There's patterns to it. So outside of just natural events.
Obviously the heat, right? You're going to have a spike in need of energy.
Or events. Let's say we already have an idea of what events are going to be happening that month. We know there will be more people in those areas. There will be more cars. There will be more.
I see your spikes. Okay.
Yep. Or if we really focused on manufacturers initially, being the highest energy consumer. So we wanted to help both the manufacturers manufacturers, being kind of the backbone of America, reduce cost and energy, as well as continue to support to bring about a lot of the change and lower cost energy.
So you started with solar that really gave you an understanding of applying energy
Exactly
in the residential and then the commercial. So you took like a grassroots approach into where you're at today.
Yes, exactly.
Wow. How long was that journey?
Oh, about 5 years.
5 years.
Yep, of ups and downs, a lot of learning, which is best for success. You can't just get there. You have to kind of go through that process. So you can't skip the process.
And so, okay, maybe this is a good time for you to tell me what ENSPI is today.
Yes. After that, we kind of moved into virtual power plants. Found a lot of success in kind of that virtual power plants place. But today, what we really are is the protection of critical infrastructure using digital twins. So after kind of going through all of that, understanding how the grid operates and some of the gaps that we face, the vulnerabilities, and just the evolving and rising threats to the grid, we felt that we were in the best position to help protect that critical infrastructure, substations, water, wastewater, all of that continues to provide our way of life. So what we do now is really focus on different energy assets. Take a substation, for example. It has all those different components. A lot of people believe all of this is pretty secure and together, and we can always count on it, which we have amazing people that try to ensure that we can, but we know it's outdated. So ENSPI comes in with our Grid Guard platform, and as you see, provides kind of the insights and the predictive analysis of what's happening with those assets. We then apply a digital twin to that to have that preparedness for if an event happens. So they take those simulations, run all the what ifs, whether it's cyber attacks, different adverse weather events. They run those simulations to create updated SOPs, and then that allows for faster uptimes in event something happens, prevents longer downtimes. It allows you to prioritize which assets to bring online. And as we work into kind of that cyber protection side, we then started implementing an agentic AI kind of overlay for that. So we work with a lot of municipalities, and we've already seen success working with them as these teams are small. A lot of times don't have the resources. So they're taking our platform and going from a 2-person IT team to now being helped and going to like a 10-person IT team using our platform. So we really believe that our platform will then help digitize, bring in those data silos for our municipal customers. And now with great programs like this, helping now get into more of that defense and national security focus. As we all know, this is just a major concern with everything that's going on.
Yeah, I'll tell you that's what in times where we're not, this, where we're not just fighting in the exercise, we're training, right? We're training. And so training is not just physical. Now where we're at today, it's digital. And so how can we learn, evaluate, and almost war game in an efficient way based upon us, right? Our unit specifically. And in this case, what is the scenarios that we could run with our current infrastructure as it is today? So, as I started hearing you talk about this is actually a great decision-making tool for leaders, right? To be able to kind of conceptualize how do we get better. There's so many methodologies that are out there, like Lean Six Sigma, and so this is actually almost like a what do they call those apps? Like a City Sim or Sim City, a Sim City, but for you in a real world, so that you can kind of work at it, interact. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Walk me through like a product video. Like if you were to give me the functionalities of it's called
Grid Guard.
Excuse me, Grid
Yep.
Guard. Walk me through what that platform is.
Yeah. So first off, we understand that this is kind of a big implementation that a lot of municipalities see it as. We don't want them to see it as just this overwhelming overhaul of kind of their systems and their networks. We phase it out. So when you're looking at like this demo, you'll see first what we really focus on is asset mapping and asset discovery. And recent CISA guidelines came out to say that's one of the focuses and aspects of cyber protection is understanding what you have out there. So you see that asset discovery, where we're really using different SCADA systems to connect and identify, bring all of those data silos into one place and give you a centralized place to view all those assets. We then identify all of the vulnerabilities that you can address with those assets in that asset mapping phase. From there, you can then start doing that digital twin you'll see. And with that digital twin, that's where we start simulating maybe attack paths. And that is the saying, prior planning prevents poor performance.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Man, I use that one all the time.
All the time.
Your stock just went up in my book. I like that.
Yeah, so you can look at this platform as that. So during that digital twin, the simulation phase, that is when you're starting to see, all right, this is where we had a gap at. This is where a vulnerability is at. So it's giving you that confidence and letting you understand your operational technology, that critical infrastructure in a more deeper way. And
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I'm thinking of, you threw out a couple of acronyms there, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a mayor that maybe not as technical, I mean, now we're probably all more technically savvy because of our cell phones,
Yep.
but what does that mean, right? When you say, I think you said CISA or
CISA.
cicada, and I'm saying the wrong words purposefully so that you can clarify.
Yeah.
But walk us through that. What
Yep.
does that mean for those senior level municipality leaders and why that is important to really support those three IT folks or those three individuals that you're really bringing that backbone behind?
Yeah, so CISA is just that federal and government arm that really looks out for U.S. Infrastructure, critical infrastructure. Municipalities, utilities look to them, telecommunications look to them to say, what should we be doing right now to protect and keep that continuity of services that
Set of industry standards.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And when we're talking about SCADA systems, SCADA is a supervisory control and data acquisition. So those are that underlying systems that essentially are passing the data to the operators that are running those the substations, water, the critical infrastructure.
Okay.
So we actually are patent pending for our system using the SCADA systems in order to create those digital twins. So we're like at the forefront of this technology, being able to really create it. Digital twins, kind of the concept has been around for a while. You may hear it in like some buzzword circles and all of that, but we've really kind of identified what do we mean by that. So we're really taking that physical environment, making it into a virtual environment, kind of like you were just mentioning with the Sims, and allowing you to interact with it.
Right.
You know, plan all type of
Absolutely.
different scenarios with it. So just the quintessential meaning of digital twin. And we find that will allow so many of these municipalities that are just operating in the dark with their archaic systems to be modernized, digitized.
Yeah, you know what I love about, I got to come back to like decision tools. If I'm a senior leader in a municipality, right, if everything's a problem, nothing's a problem, right? Because where do I start first?
Exactly.
And so in this sim environment, in the way that a digital clone environment, I can not only see all of the problems, but then I can kind of categorically start to assess and prioritize based upon time, technology, money and the capital involved in really bringing that to light. And again, what I find is even from a transparency standpoint, it really shows the community what you're doing. You know, like when we order a pizza, we can kind of see now, hey, they just put the pepperoni on or they put the anchovies on and they're about to put it into the system.
Yep.
So I like the tool. I love the tool. So you were just walking me through the first part, right? It's
Yep.
mapping creating the clone
Yes.
itself from
Yep.
the assets. Let's start the inventory process. Then what?
Yep. And then we start deploying the actual digital twin. So at that point, before like kind of that asset mapping or after that asset mapping, now you just kind of have visibility. You can start understanding and prioritizing and making a game plan on what you want to focus on first. Then that phase two is really that digital twin and getting teams trained up to operate this digital twin in a more effective way. How do we engage with this in a useful way? So at that point, that's when you'll start getting all of the data coming in. And as we know, this is the age of data.
Yes.
In order, if you like you were saying, the decision makers, they need better, more clarified data from their organizations, from their networks. We start providing that with the digital twin. And with that data that they have, they'll start simulations. Let's say just a couple weeks ago, St. Paul had a major cyber attack. It shut down a lot of city services. They ended up having to call in the National Guard Cyber Command to help remediate a lot of that.
Wow.
Everything was retroactive. We need to get to a place where we're being proactive, but we need to know what to be proactive about.
Sure.
And that is what the digital twin allows.
And that comes with time.
Comes with time.
Right.
Exactly.
I think the time, one, you want to be predictive versus reactive.
Yeah.
Right? And then again, you know, it's just like asset inventories, right? You need to do inventories, but why not start to digitize those inventories and not
Exactly.
put them from paper to a Google spreadsheet,
Yes.
right? It's more of how do we build upon that data that we've now digitized?
Yep.
And how can we interact with that to make, I keep coming back to, I don't know why decisions, but I mean,
That's
it's
what
making,
this is.
making good,
Better
informed,
decisions.
better decisions.
Yep.
Okay. Map
Yes.
the assets. Then we build the clone.
Yes.
What's next?
Now it's about action. Now this is where we start implementing some of the cyber protections and reinforcing teams, implementing teams by now deploying our agentic AI to all of this. And what that really does, say you have a small team, you have all of these different vulnerabilities that you have to patch up, updates. What we do is support these teams by programming these workflows into these agents to start remediating a lot of these vulnerabilities. And we want to ensure everything is obviously very secure in what we're doing. So we spend time understanding your system, understanding your protocols, and understanding kind of that skill level that we're at. So if you're having a lot of different patchwork to do, we program that agent to take one task, pass it to another agent, as if you have more team members doing this. And we always keep that human in the loop, so nothing ever happens without that so you're really okay in that action.
So Dwayne, in the 1, 2, 3 step process, you're talking about agentic AI,
Yes.
but am I still in the simulated environment, or have at this point we've actually the term API'd into?
Exactly.
So that's part of that final.
Yes.
We have the sim environment, but we also have the opportunity to connect in to your infrastructure itself to interact with it.
Yeah, well, we want to keep things air gapped, so it's
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm confused about. So
it's
please
not
explain
actually into that system. So let's say
Okay.
there's some network or system updates. that is on the human side.
Okay.
That is what the agents are gathering. That's what the agents are creating, kind of that step-by-step process and executing. And then at that final stage for some of kind of the remediations, that's where the human comes in.
Okay, that's great. I like it. So essentially, everything is air gapped, meaning you're not touching the matrix. You're not in the matrix per se.
Yep.
You are outside of the matrix, and really, with it outside of the matrix, you're coming up with a checklist for that human to go and do.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And then identifying as well some of the areas that maybe the human missed, being that we have 100 things to do. And like I said, these are under-resourced, smaller teams. So we're working with a municipality right now that has overlooked quite a few things due to different changes, personnel, and just not the resources there. So we've already been able to identify ways that they can improve their security posture just through phase 2 of what we've been working with them.
Okay, love that you have a use case of that. But what savings, either in time or what did they gain from just that small use case that would be so profound for that municipality to be like, wow, we are so glad we met Dwayne?
Yes, that's a great.
But before something catastrophic happened, right?
Yep. So never mind leaving kind of those vulnerabilities where nation actors can come in and shut down. What we focus on first is optimization. So there's so many runaway calls with maintenance. You let something go long enough, and then it just breaks down. And that is kind of where they were on the path to. So you let certain things break down. You're talking this specific case saved them upwards of $100,000 just fixing this piece of equipment.
Wow.
Early enough before it completely malfunctioned.
And they can manage the costs associated with that, so it's not really impacting a potential plan.
Exactly.
They can get ahead of it.
Exactly. So a lot of this is called preventive maintenance. So that
we know about that, right? That's like PMCS, Motor Pool Monday. That's what I was trying. That's right.
Yep. So exactly, and we're bringing that into kind of these organizations that had a more static way of looking at it. We're digitizing that for them. We receive so many Excel files, and these are utilities that you would hope is up to date. But to receive an Excel file, hundreds of them, how can one person parse through all of these, query the data that they need? You're bound to miss something. This is where we apply AI to create efficiencies and optimize their operations, which goes to like savings.
And then eventually there's going to be that adaptation of that's the environment, I'm sure. Right?
Exactly.
Once you've built confidence and understanding and it's been demonstrated over time, you're going to then probably, I'm sure the municipalities are going to say, hey, we want this to be the standard.
Exactly.
Right, in a way. And help me understand, I want to really highlight your technology is not something that would take away, but would really significantly add value to the workers.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like, I think you've been mentioned, it's taking one person and really building multiplying the abilities for that individual.
Exactly. So we hear all these AI this, AI that.
Right.
What does it actually do for our organization?
Sure.
Just throwing AI at something doesn't necessarily create value. What creates value is giving kind of that time back. It's very hard to find some of these IT professionals in some of these areas. I read there was a number, I believe, where there's 500,000 open job applications for the cyber and IT world.
Wow.
And I can imagine in rural places where a lot of these municipalities are, they really feel that. So how are they really going to get kind of that software, get the protection they need if they can't hire? So this is what we are supporting, and we're helping them save on kind of that going out and finding the people, even though we want people and humans to be part of this.
In the loop, they're critical to it. Yeah, absolutely, right.
Yeah.
I don't see this in any way reducing the force.
Exactly.
This is empowering the force.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and because again, it's the weight of technology and time and transition. When I mean transition, the changing environment, it's hard to keep up.
Yes.
It's really. I'm sure you feel it now, right? Do I go to LinkedIn? Do I go to a website where I need information because we're so attuned to being able to have it so accessible as well?
Exactly.
Okay. Why is this important for the U.S. federal government or even governments, right? And one, love that you're in our Defense Accelerator program, but I think you're commercially deployed, fully operational, and you have found great customer traction. You're continuing to do so. Why is it important for, in this case, the Department of Defense or potentially Department of Energy customers or installation commanders or anybody, quite frankly, why should they be paying attention to this?
Yes. Critical infrastructure powers everything in the United States and even globally, even with our partners globally. And if you look at some of the installations here in the United States, right on the outside of them is a municipality. So if that municipality has some weak points, some vulnerabilities, and they're feeding into that installation, that's a direct threat right there and vulnerability to that installation. So you never know. Look at Fort Hood and the cleans right on the outside of that. So we want to work with both that municipality, and it's important that the DoD understands that, hey, we should probably focus on this as well to continue on keeping the OPSEC point. We never want that weak link to be outside of our control. So that is very important. We look at the DOE who is focused on bringing on more nuclear, more energy. We see kind of the proliferation of data centers popping up. So that's more and more energy, more and more connections to our critical infrastructure that is should be a concern for everybody.
Yeah, and it may not be a direct attack. It could be an indirect attack,
Exactly.
right? Meaning you've now thrown a roadblock up.
Exactly.
A roadblock in some way that the railhead of that unit trying to deploy now is interacting with some potential problems that directly tie to the municipality infrastructure. So it's not the direct cyber attacks, it's the direct or indirect direct attacks that really we should start thinking about, because we have operational readiness levels that we need to maintain, and when should the balloon go up, we need to again logistically be ready.
Exactly.
And a lot of that sometimes falls domestically, the infrastructure that we have. So it's critical to have your product out there in these municipalities.
Yep.
I love that. I love that. I love that you're working on that, right? I mean, you've gone from energy into being able to have this capability. And this doesn't really seem overly complicated. I love that you have a patent, that you have found a niche from which to take an industry standard and really kind of capitalize on that ability to really make good, sound decisions in a preventative way.
Yes, yeah, and that's kind of been the focus. We understand the complexity of implementation of software, especially for big organizations. So we wanted to ensure that we're not overwhelming customers with even more software integration, implementation, which is why we came up with that phased approach. We even took it one step further. We understand that this is a big undertaking, so we create our pilot package where we work with these organizations, one, just prove value from the start, and then two, we want them to have the confidence working with us, so they don't have to connect their whole system.
The vulnerability itself, right?
Exactly.
Shutting down the matrix just to let you get into the matrix.
Exactly.
In that way. Yeah, that is good.
Yeah. So we really thought about our customers and how we bring this to them, how we bring it to the market, and just how we really build upon it.
Can you talk about the traction that you're getting? I'm sure your phone is ringing off the hooks.
Yes.
And really, you're focusing on municipalities, and I know you're gaining a lot of. You almost can't even keep up in that way, which is why you looked at an accelerator program, right? And it sounds like you've gone through other accelerators, but what was unique about the Q Branch Accelerator? You saw an opportunity in the federal government, and you're an Army guy. You should be able to sell back to the Army, right? It's easy. Go out and do that.
Yeah.
Tell me more about why you even sought out Q Branch. Like, what were you frustrated by?
Yeah. So, to be honest, we weren't going to do any more accelerators. Like you said, we're very busy now. Our engineering teams is nonstop. We are working with multiple municipalities now, and it's growing. Yeah, and they're adding new features every day, each municipality. So, and we kind of have a pipeline of continued municipalities that are interested. But as we started looking at how do we really make inroads into this defense, even as a veteran, it's not easy. It's not easy, and it's not intuitive. You don't just go to sam.gov and say, "Hey,
I'm here."
This.
Right.
There I go. So we really had to strategize and like understand what is our end goal. After looking at all these different programs, we found Q Branch. What we really liked was that kind of the hands-on approach, the tailored approach of it, as well as how you curated the program based upon what we are doing, what the companies and the participants.
The individuality of your mission.
Exactly.
Okay.
That makes a big difference. Like I said, there's a lot of accelerators out there, which is why we're like, we're not going to do any more accelerators. We understand how to run the business. We're working on the growth side of it now. We don't really need to go through that process again. But yeah, it really kind of called to us kind of that curation and also, we love that it was in Texas. We've been looking at the ERCOT area for quite a while, ever since the VPP. So that was another big
bonus
for to come out here
right.
in a growing ecosystem of defense. So yeah,
that's amazing. You know, and it's still very much a new thing to have a defense innovative ecosystem. Not that defense is new to Texas by no stretch.
Yeah,
both. I would say the two largest installations in the world are here in Texas. So Texas knows defense, but an emerging ecosystem, right? Where you're applying new things, and how can you take these new technologies, digital clones, and apply it to outside of the wall that affects this, because this is a symbiotic relation to almost everything we do.
Exactly.
Well, one, I love that you saw the program was to be a really good one. You know, we tend to focus on individual missions, and we want it to be very much individualized to you. You know, I'm a defense procurement guy, and one of the standard answers of a question is, "Hey, what about this?" And the response is usually, "Well, it depends."
Yep.
That's kind of the standard. It depends. Well, let me understand your plan where I can give you a more definitive answer, because I can tell you it depends on you. Everything you're doing depends upon you being successful, right? You being successful in the commercial sector, and we want to ensure that what we can help provide in the federal sector. So I love that you've enjoyed this program. We're not done yet, but I just kind of wanted to, what made it interesting to you, because it's frustrating, I know, and I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
And even though you're a veteran, you know the lingos, right? You can at least assume some of the acronyms or GPT, what it is, and then just kind of get it. But it's tough, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, yeah. So, and that's another thing, actually being in the program. Some of the networking and the intros have just been pivotal, being that you don't know who to speak with outside of kind of this acquisition and procurement world for the DoD. So being in the program and all the introductions and connections we've been making over the last few days that we can continue to build upon from here will continue to allow us to make those inroads to eventually success.
Yeah, you will be successful. You're successful today. It's
Yes.
more compounding that success. And that's, I think, why we selected you. I know that is why we selected you, is because you already have commercial traction.
Yes.
So now let's take it a little bit further, right? In this defense world, I was just going to make a crack at the Eagles, but I'll just use football. Just because you could throw a football, you're not going to go against a professional team tomorrow.
Yes.
And that's when you think of the U.S. federal government. You're going up against a professional team. They have standards. They don't want to lower those standards because those standards are what make the U.S. great country. But again, organizations that are out there sometimes don't understand that navigation.
Exactly.
And it has to be individualized for you. So, Dwayne, I'm super happy that you're here. I know you're going to be successful. We're on the team. You're on the team. It's a good team effort. I want to ask you a question. If I were to give you a call sign today, even though in the real world you don't get to pick it, but I'm going to let you pick it, what would your call sign be?
Yeah, a good call sign, I guess, that really epitome of what I do and who I am would be the builder.
The builder.
The builder.
All right, I'll dig it.
Yeah.
Okay, the builder. All right, next question. What book are you reading today, and what is your favorite book that you have read that is inspirational to what you're doing today?
Yes. The book that I'm reading today, Changing World Orders by Ray Dalio. I'm big into investing and just understanding markets and kind of the ebb and flows of that. So it's a great book. It's actually my second time reading it. It's a beefy book, but and I would say the book. It's two, so I would go.
That's okay. You can say as many as you want.
Thinking Fast and Slow.
Fast and Slow?
Yep. Dan Kahneman. It's a great book about decision making, understanding the mind and the process, what goes into it, removing bias, and understand why you made that decision. And then I would say designing the mind. I'm big as you psychology.
Yeah, psychology. Yeah, right. I'm picking up on what you're putting down.
Designing the mind and kind of looking. It really delves into looking at the mind almost like an algorithm. If I think this, what is the input? What is the output? And then reframing that to take more control over your thoughts and the outcomes that you want and you get out of those thoughts. Wow. Decision making.
Yeah, it comes down to good decision. And you have a decision making platform.
Yes.
And I know you're going to go and raise some capital. We're here to support you in that endeavor. I know Texas is a great place for you, even though you're out of state. But again, we're very supportive of you, and hopefully we'll bring you back here. I know you're here already.
Yep.
To do more things and really helping Texas solidify the critical infrastructure.
Yes,
because right now it's central and it is so important to the United States. And again, this way of life that we love.
Of course.
Dwayne,
great.
Really appreciate the opportunity to have you here, part of the Q Branch team.
Thanks a lot.
All right, man. We'll see you.